November 21st, 1820. 2,000 miles from the nearest coast, the whaleship Essex sat becalmed in the middle of the Pacific. To the 20 men on board, the sea was a harvest, and the creatures within it were a commodity, an oil-rich resource to be hunted and rendered down for profit. But on this morning, the fundamental order of their world was about to be violently reversed. The hunter was about to become the hunted. A leviathan emerged from the deep and 80-ton sperm whale, its massive head scarred by a lifetime of survival in the unforgiving ocean. It was a creature of almost unbelievable scale, nearly as long as the ship itself. But it didn't behave like any whale they had ever encountered. It didn't swim away in fear. It didn't dive to escape. It turned, looked directly at the 230-ton vessel, and it charged. Whales were known to be dangerous, but only when provoked and cornered during a hunt. They were creatures of flight, not fight. What happened next defied all known naval experience and the very laws of nature as these men understood them. The initial collision sent a bone-jarring shock through the Essex, splintering its sturdy oak hull, but the whale wasn't finished. After the first impact, the great beast moved away, paused in the water as if it were observing the damage, as if it were calculating its next move. Then, with terrifying purpose, it accelerated to 6 knots. It struck again. The second impact was catastrophic. The 230-ton ship, a vessel built to withstand the harshest elements the ocean could throw at it, shuddered and began to take on water at an alarming rate. The massive, blunt head of the whale acted as a battering ram, smashing the bow to pieces. In less than 20 minutes, the invincible whaleship Essex, the pride of Nantucket's fleet, was a splintered wreck, sinking into the vast blue abyss. For the survivors scrambling into their small whaleboats, the immediate horror of the attack was over. The real nightmare, a prolonged descent into hell, was only just beginning. 20 men were left adrift in 3 small, fragile whaleboats with meager supplies, thousands of miles from the nearest known land. For 90 days, they wandered the desolate expanse of the Pacific, a journey into purgatory. They faced the relentless blaze of the sun, the gnawing agony of thirst, and the slow, wasting torture of starvation. This physical ordeal was matched by a psychological horror that would eventually drive them to break the ultimate taboo, forcing them to commit the unthinkable to survive. They were lost in the blank spaces on their own maps. They were being hunted by the sun and the salt, but they were haunted by the memory of the creature that had put them in this position. In the journals they kept, the survivors didn't describe a mere animal acting on instinct. They described a demon, a being of cunning and malice, a creature that seemed to have been sent by the sea itself as a form of divine punishment for their greed and their slaughter. It was an act of retribution from the deep. Was it a monster, or was it a mother defending her own? Modern marine biology offers a chillingly plausible explanation. We now know that sperm whales are highly intelligent, deeply social creatures with the largest and most complex brains on the entire planet. They communicate over vast distances using a series of rhythmic clicks. They form powerful family bonds. They plan coordinated actions, and most importantly, they remember. The Essex had been actively hunting in this specific area, having already killed several whales from a local pod. Could this 80-ton giant, this supposed demon, have been making a calculated, strategic choice to defend its family from a known predator? If so, the attack wasn't a freak accident or a random act of aggression. It was the first recorded act of organized marine warfare against mankind, a conscious decision to eliminate a threat. The attack wasn't random. It was personal. The tragedy of the Essex would go on to inspire Herman Melville to write his masterpiece, Moby Dick, but the grim reality of the cruise ordeal was far darker than any fiction. Of the 20 men who abandoned the sinking ship, only 8 survived the 90 days of horror to be rescued and tell their tale. The story remains a stark warning from the deep. We sail the oceans with an air of dominion, going where we want, taking what we want. But we must never forget that in the silent darkness below, there are giants. Giants who have watched us, who have learned from us, and who remember our actions. And sometimes they strike back,